Travis Scott's just released Utopia, and I want to find out what makes the production so dark. I'm going to show you the tricks that these producers use to make that exact sound. Delay is an effect that has been used a lot in this album, and I will show you throughout why. Starting with the song Telekinesis.
Used to wanna fucking R&B bitch and that shit happened.
First they started with some layered synth pads, and when used with the delay effect, it made this. The next I'm going to show you how to add them subtle textures. I had this electric piano that sounded like this. But I only wanted to use that tail end delay, so I exported it and added a portal, and it sounded like this. Then to match this sound I added a bell from Mellotron, and when paired with this sidechain and portal, it gives that delay effect you hear throughout this album. And in the second half I added this pitched up splice texture. Just like Mike Dean does throughout this album, I added a distorted bass and I overlapped them notes to give that glide effect. Now let's listen to My Eyes. You hear them ambient and chopped up vocals panning in different delays, and I added some of my own, as you can see, with different delays. On the album, Travis likes to use beat switches, which transitions into each other smoothly, just like in Sirens. As you can see here, that delay automation. As the automation goes up, you can see the vocal repeats itself more. And for the second half, I just wanted to use a sample like in God's Country. So I found this old African sample. And as you see, I chopped it up, then used Melodyne to make sure it was tuned perfectly. And just like in Meltdown, I added my own strings. For the drums, I wanted them to hit hard just like Wonder Girl, making sure the kick and 808 were clipping. Then for the hi-hats, I wanted to use lower tones and rolls to give them extra bounce. Now let's see how it all sounds together. For the second beat, I wanted to have them dark synth trumpets like in Thank God.
Let's say was filled with slaps, I guess gotta run this shit back.
And I found this sample that I just looped. And I just layered it with this synth lead. Notice how these are off the grid to match that unique rhythm. Then just like in the album, vocals coming in from all different angles. I had this one main vocal, then a vocal chop that I pitched up and down. You can see I added a portal delay automation. Then lastly, some vocal breathing that you can see I automated the panning of. And together they sound like this. And to create more texture, I added this lead and I layered them in different pitches. To create that dark introduction like on Thank God, I added some pads, but I put a portal and a halftime on the overall sample. And you can see with that portal, I added an automation with some riser effects at the end. Then I added this bass with a saturator to sound like this. Then if we take Hyena for example, I went on Splice and I found this loop and it has that military snare roll, and together it all sounds like this.